your story, but don't leave the good parts out.
We are here with my friend. It's hard to even express how deep of love I have for you. You're like my musical sister. This is what we talk about. Yeah, we're probably gonna cry.
100%.
You're pregnant.
So pregnant.
We're already in trouble.
I'm definitely gonna
cry. So what I want to start with, there's like so many things I want you to be able to share with anybody that's listening. I mean, you probably all know of Rachel, but I know her as truly like my sister coming up in the music industry. And one of the sweetest things I thought of was how there's not anybody else that I would get with and play all of my shitty songs with. Oh. Isn't that such like a sweet thing that we've shared?
Yeah.
Both having been through the Ben Singer Academy, right? Where you just write so many songs to get to the good stuff.
Oh my gosh.
That means that there's a lot of really weird ones. And to sit with you in a car and go back and forth playing our worst songs is like one of my favorite memories.
Oh yeah, that day outside of your house in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
That was our first time doing that. It was so refreshing.
So refreshing. You need friends that you can just
laugh.
Fully laugh with and let all your warts show.
Yeah.
You know, it's really sweet. So I wanted to give people a sense of our little conversation because you're someone that will either call me or I'll call you through the last, like, I don't know, what,
6 or 7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
Probably like 5 times a year, we'll have like an hour or 2 hour conversation where we just try to support each other or just let the other one know, like, this is what it is.
Yeah.
All the crap you're going through is totally, totally normal.
It's so true.
Yeah. So I wrote down a couple that I don't remember talking about, but like I just want to pick your brain about. Like I would pick your brain about it. Like so I would call you.
We'll just basically do a phone call.
Yeah, we'll do a phone call.
Okay.
So I would call you and I'd be like, "Man, I'm just dealing with fear right now. Like, what do you got?"
Oh my gosh.
Just in general.
Well, I have so much experience with fear and moving past it, especially this year.
This year, really?
Like a really big year of. I think that like. For pregnancy, it's hard to separate pregnancy and music. They've all kind of mashed into one right now. But I had a really crazy experience last year that you know all about. I put out a record that I really loved, and Andy kind of got me through it. You kind of got me through this heartbreaking thing that was, I put out this record that I really loved. Ben and I, we shared a manager for a long time. We loved it, and my team loved it, and it just didn't do what we hoped it would.
Sure.
It happens. But my ego was so attached to it, doing what I thought it was going to do, following, you know, success and highs. We've gone into this a lot too, just the roller coaster of the industry. And instead of being excited about putting it out, well, this is what I noticed was going wrong. I was terrified. I was having anxiety attacks. I was like really, really scared to release music because there was all this pressure and I didn't even realize I was putting it on myself. So I lost the joy of like creating and releasing music out into the world. And you helped me a lot with that of like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? I don't know if you remember that there was a tough one day and I called you and you just explained to me it's really not yours anymore. Like once you make it,
I know.
You have to just put it out and let it be free and it has nothing to do with you anymore. What people think.
And we do think we can control it.
Oh my gosh.
We think we have control over it, but we don't.
We have no control over it.
Yeah.
We think that like you write something and you share it with someone and a couple people tell you like that's really good.
And the shittiest art is always the art that you're like, you've tailor crafted because you think someone
and
is
it's
gonna
never
love
what
it.
resonates.
No, it usually
sweater's
what happens.
So cute, guys, but it's coming.
Okay,
off.
it's okay. Take off the sweater.
No one cares at home.
So what did you do?
So I went through a lot.
It's so good, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love the record still. I went through a lot. I mean, I don't know. I'm just in such a different place right now because my fear now is more related to like, can I do this? Can I birth this baby? Can I like go through labor? Can I be a mom? How do I do this all together? But last year, I got through it by just accepting, you know, like what it was. And I don't know. I think I started trusting whatever you call it, source, God, the universe. I know everyone listening has a lot of different views. And I just started accepting a little bit more, like that there is goodness, that there is a plan, and that nothing that is happening to me is bad. You know, it's all for good.
Yeah.
And trusting that did help me accept a little bit more. I don't know. I don't know if I'm totally through it because when I released a single recently. It was
Yeah.
about my baby. I had little flashbacks of the fear. I was going on GMA and I was going to sing it and I was going to be 7 months pregnant. And I did have little moments of like, oh my God, what are people going to think again? But I do think I don't know if I called you about it, but I was really proud because I did work through it quickly. It was like, I was a way faster comeback kid this time. And I checked myself and I was like, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm just going to have fun. And what people do with it and accept and like what they think of it, that's on them. And this is for my baby and this is for me and my family. And I put out something I love and that's good enough.
That's good enough. Also, there's probably people that love it.
There are tons of people that love it. And that's great.
So we you can shoot yourself in the foot by only wanting a certain group. You know, that's a very interesting thought is the only art that is worth it the one that wins on the mass level? And when I think in my life, some art that I love, like nobody knows about it.
Yeah.
Isn't that so weird?
Yeah, it's so true. It's like,
but
okay.
I do hold myself to a standard that if a massive amount of people don't like something that I put out, then it doesn't feel successful. But that's bullshit, I think. It is
bullshit because, especially the way that you and I write,
yeah.
we write to heal things. We write to go through things. I write to process things. So they're all teachers. They're all really important. Some of them, okay, clearly some days you go into, it's just not that real.
Yeah.
Like you try and it gets muddled and it's like, we always start with the best intentions, I'm sure, but then you just get in your way. Yeah. But even the songs that like, if they're really honest and they really like did something to help me get through something I'm going through, you're right. That's something how do you say it? I'm just as proud as that.
Yeah.
That as I am of Fight Song or whatever, or something that moves people in a big way. But it is hard.
It's tough. I don't know the answer.
I think our process of sharing those bad songs is our little way of like respecting our art and being like, let's mark this time. It was worth something, even if it's to laugh about it with one of my best friends.
Oh, of course. Like, yeah, I mean, I laughed real hard showing you the worst one. No one will ever hear these.
You guys, we should actually.
That would have been a better podcast. Is just
we should have just showed our worst.
Shown the worst ones.
Oh my God, we have some bad ones.
Really awful, really terrible things. But I think any artist has this. And I listen to a lot of like stand-up comedian podcasts, and they talk about you have no shot at being funny until you actually are okay with bombing.
It's so true.
So you're okay to go up and say jokes and have no one laugh and just feel that horrible tension, that awkwardness. Then you have no shot of really doing it. And I think that's very true with songwriting as well. Because to me, fear, going back to like just talking about fear, the idea that it can stop you. It can actually stop you from even doing it.
Yeah.
I
want to wait. I feel like I didn't even answer your fear question very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
Or like I don't really know. What do you think about fear? Where are you at on it right now?
Well, it was funny too because the next one was doubt. You think there's a difference between fear and doubt? Fear to me is the overall thing that holds you down, that will not even let you get in the game.
Yeah.
Right? If you take it like a sports analogy, it's like fear is the thing that tells you shouldn't even go on the field.
Yeah, fear. Okay, fear's a lie. It's a lie,
It's a lie.
But it has to. You have to coexist with it.
Yeah.
I listened to this awesome thing once. I think actually Ben showed me, or I showed him, or maybe we all showed each other, and it was like, okay, you have love, enthusiasm, doubt, fear. Right now, fear's driving, and it's not allowed to. But it can't get out of the car. You have to let it be in the car. It just has to go in the back seat. And you can be kind to it and say, hey, I acknowledge you. I know you're there. I hear what you're saying. And I love you and respect you, but you can't drive right now.
Yeah.
You can still be here. And I listen to you. I think like to
That's
shut
sweet.
it down completely is some form like a denial, and then it can creep up like in a moment. But I think if you can like accept, okay, it's always going to be there. What we're doing is terrifying. What everyone's doing it every day, getting up and loving and being vulnerable is scary.
Yeah.
And I think like shutting it down that's when I get in trouble, when I don't acknowledge
when
it.
you don't even, yeah. I mean, usually if I go in to do anything, even like this podcast, I'm like, oh.
This is scary for me too. I'm really pregnant. Who knows if I'm going to like start crying or sweating or
sure.
Like, yeah, totally.
But for me to even start it is
scarier.
Everyone's going to hate this. No one's going to listen. It's going to be ridiculous. Those are literally the first. Step one is you think, I'd like to do a podcast. Step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are all like, you douchebag, shut up. What do you think you have the right to do? All like that's just fear.
Yeah.
And so hopefully you get to a place where you're okay with hearing it. And
That's
you go
so
like,
good.
all right, yes, you're going to punch me in the face before I try to do anything. But then what is doubt?
Doubt is a much more subtle cousin of fear.
Okay.
It's like there, and it's like, I think it's a lot softer, and it's just, you guys, this is where I feel like you should just be interviewing yourself. Because you have such good answers for this stuff.
No.
I don't really.
No, I'm just like, I picked topics that we would just discuss.
I-
Like you and me would be on the phone just talking about this.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, I think when is the last time I doubted myself? I doubt myself all the time. But I don't really know. Is there a huge difference between fear and doubt?
It's all kind of the same shit.
Doubt's just more subtle. It's like
Yeah. Doubt to me is like fear is the thing that says don't even try.
Yeah.
And then doubt is what comes into my mind right before I go to do something.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a fair.
Doubt's a lot easier to get rid of.
You think so?
With meditation or talking to God.
So you meditation.
Oh yeah. Because I have to remind myself, okay, that's not real. And
How
also
often?
I just did it in the car before I walked in. Because I'm a little uncomfortable today, and I was like, but I want to be present with my friend, and I just had to clear myself in the car before I walked in. I was like, and I just pictured, I do this little thing where I make it up. I don't know, I make it up every time. Like I either picture myself jumping in a lake or a body of water, and like it clears off all the fear and off of me, or I picture like a big comb sweeping through my body, and it sweeps out all the darkness and shadows. And I have all these different ways. I just make them up.
Wow.
And then I fill myself back up with light. And I imagine that a lot of what's coming out is energy that I don't need, doubt and fear and other people's stuff that I pick up because I'm such a sponge. And yeah.
Yeah. That's actually a really nice tool. I don't do that.
You don't.
I
know we've talked about a little
I
bit
go through
about...
periods where I'll like be on a really good prayer game and sometimes meditation, but not enough.
This takes me 2 minutes, maybe 1 minute. It can be 30 seconds even if you're like... I actually think that this year has been so awesome for me because having that moment where I crashed and had to like reassess, well, who am I without like the success that I think is defining me right now?
Mm-hmm.
I know people listening might be like, that's ridiculous. What is she talking about?
Sure.
It's still successful from the outside, but
yeah,
we are hard on ourselves. And
of course.
I think like that reassessment of who I was and what I cared about and deciding to get pregnant and having a baby and all these humongous changes has made me a lot more, I have to be a lot more aware of how I'm feeling any given moment because I was swinging pretty high and low and pregnancies,
Already that way.
Already like that. So I had to be really aware like, okay, am I really being myself right now or did I pick up something that I don't need, that isn't real right now? Oh, I know. I look at fear. I forgot this one.
Okay.
I look at fear and doubt as the opposite of love. I think everything is either love or fear. So if you're feeling anything other than love in the moment, it's not real. It doesn't exist.
Wow.
And you can always ask again. You can always choose again. And I do that by resetting and saying, cool, what is the loving thing to feel in this moment? If I was thinking how, my creator or source or whatever, how would they feel about me in this thing?
Oh, yeah.
Does that sound clear at all?
No,
I
it
can't really
does.
figure it out. Okay.
It does.
What lie am I
It's sweet.
telling myself and what's the truth right now?
Well, man, it's all mindset. Especially when you're trying to do something artistic, where you're trying to create something out of thin air. To go into any situation knowing that you pretty much, the odds are way against you.
Yeah.
It's all mindset of either I'm either chasing my joy.
Yeah.
That's where I go.
Ooh.
He's like, follow your joy.
Yeah.
Rather than like be pushed into a corner by one of these things that we're talking about,
You're so
But
good.
it's hard to find it when you're so stressed out.
Have you shared your analogy yet? This is so awesome. I feel like any songwriters listening, you should get to hear this. Your like unicorn hunting thing. I love it. I try to repeat it to people. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Please repeat it. I don't even know
I don't know what
you're
it is either. I repeat it wrong. It basically, you're like every day when you go into a studio to write a song, you're chasing a unicorn, right?
Yeah, you're hunting for something that is probably not going to happen.
Right.
And the only chance you have is if you're all good hunters. So you try to go with the best people that are really capable. But then sometimes you go hunting and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
So you've spent the day hunting with people that are amazing, and maybe part of your job is to
And
know.
it wasn't your fault.
Maybe it's part of your job to know where the things to find to hunt are.
Yeah.
But there are just days where you go and there's just nothing there. And
Yeah.
so I've tried to get better at letting myself off the hook at the end of the night rather than going and spending the last, 5 hours of the night just like hating myself.
Oh my God. It's so easy
Just
to
like
do.
hating my own existence,
Oh my
saying like, man, I
God.
thought I was good at this and I'm terrible at this.
It is so funny
You know?
how we do that.
Do you
and
do
then
that?
when you write it, oh yeah, of course. And then when you do a good one,
I am
You're like,
so
I'm
hot,
pretty
by the
good.
way.
Are you hot?
Holy shit.
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
You
Okay,
guys hot?
I'm gonna turn
The
on some air.
conditioning?
Let
Okay,
me get
I'm
some air.
so sorry.
Some air.
I'm having like a pregnant hot flash.
I love it.
Can you guys cut me out saying that I'm sweating and hot and gross? If not, that's fine.
Just let it run.
Andy, I hate you. Thanks, babe.
Coming.
I love you. My body temperature is not regulated right now.
Oh,
I have
good.
no idea.
Okay, the other one that I wanted to ask you about was, because I just called you about this, was comparison.
Oh yeah.
This is like an artist. What did I write here?
A lot
It's
to
like,
say about this
it's like
one.
an artist phone call that we have.
Yeah.
Then comparison. You talk.
Okay. I was listening to some of your podcasts on the way here
Mm-hmm.
and this weekend because I was like, well, I've listened before, but I want to get even like deeper into my friend Andy. What is he doing?
Yeah.
And the one thing that really surprised me was hearing artists that I totally think would never feel this way talk about struggling with that too.
Yeah.
Everyone feels it. We all do this thing where we think that we have to measure ourselves to the people to the left and right of us. It's ridiculous. It is so silly. It's such a waste of time and energy. It's so poisonous. My therapist would say that there's something healthy in it. There's that jealousy there's a healthy seed in jealousy because it does let you know where you want to go. And if you can use it for that, then that's the beautiful part about it.
Does it let you know where you want to go?
Or something.
Or because sometimes I'm jealous of things I don't even want.
Really? You sure?
Well,
You don't want them?
So say like I called you because I've been spending a lot more time on social media, just like figuring out and starting to actually.
I hate social media.
You hate it.
I know you're gonna air this on social media. Like
on the last
social
tour, I started to like enjoy it. We started doing these back lounge bus things.
Your back lounge bus things were great.
We started this podcast is a form of social media. So like I think if you go into it in a way that you want, it can be really fun.
I don't mean the content that you create isn't fun. I enjoy that too.
100%.
I mean the actual act of looking and scrolling and filling your brain with other people's information is a lot for me.
It's quite a bit.
And it is hard.
And I called you and I said, it's so weird because comparing myself is not one of my, like we all know.
I've always complained about that to you. Like, Andy, I'm jealous of this person. You never had that
I don't
issue.
usually have that.
No, you're
not
like,
to
oh.
not to put myself on a high horse.
No,
Just
you
like I
don't.
have many other terrible flaws. This one didn't seem to
Terrible
be
flaws.
terrible. This one doesn't seem to be mine. But this last tour, spending a lot of time on social media, I felt it kind of hurting more.
It
Out of
hurts.
nowhere, I'm like, wait, what? I'm jealous of this person? What the hell is this? Get away! I don't want this. This is like not mine. I don't want any of this.
When you told me that, I was like, "Oh, hi, welcome to my world. I'm very familiar with this territory."
You did.
Yeah, I've lived here. It's
I was
an
in
awful
somewhere. I was
place
in
to
some
live.
weird place, and I'm like, Rachel, help me. What the
Yeah.
hell is going on?
I think it's like, I don't know who doesn't feel it. I don't know how you don't feel it. The only thing that I can understand, like, because even if I go in and I'm like in my like living my like best self and I've just meditated and I've just worked out and I'm feeling like really good and positive, and then I start looking through feeds and I'm like scrolling, I won't stop. Okay, sometimes if I'm like really healthy and I'm busy, I just look for a second and it's no big deal. But it's when you have a lot of time and you're just like, and you're looking and you don't stop until you feel bad. I don't know if anyone shares that.
It's like eating. It's like not stopping
Yeah,
eating until
you're
you
like
feel sick.
I won't stop scrolling until I'm like, oh, I feel terrible about myself.
Oh no.
Do you know what I mean? Or you probably
I do.
Are you
do.
healthier with it? Than
I have recently started understanding what you're talking about, and it makes me want to throw it all away.
It just sucks. I don't know what the solution is. We were talking about on the phone. Like, I don't know how to do it and not. I did start muting things that were making me jealous, and like
That's interesting.
I feel embarrassed about this, but because I'm not on tour right now and I'm not living that part of me, I'm in a very inward.
It's not fun
place.
to see other people's
It's not
crowds.
fun to see people, even people that I love, enjoying a crowd, and like I miss it. I want that, and I think it's okay. I'm not going to beat myself up about being a little jealous of it because I am in a way grieving a part of my life that I had for a long time, and that I don't know when I'm going to get to do it again. I don't know how much time I'm going to want to spend with my daughter and like when I'm going to get back on the road. So I'm not beating myself up about feeling a little jealous,
Oh,
but I'm
that's
just
fine.
supporting myself and letting me like being a little gentle with myself, like a mom would, and saying, you know what, it's okay. You don't have to look at it.
Yeah, it's a really because it's a new thing
I know.
for humans to be able to
true.
see everyone else's achievements and accomplishments at all times.
Do you think that we're better for seeing them? I don't know. Like, is it making us?
I think what you're alluding to is really important, which is that being aware that it has an effect on you is really helpful.
It's healthy.
So being able to be like, oh, actually, I feel really jealous when I see this person.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna mute them, maybe not forever, but for a little bit.
Just for right now.
I'm gonna mute this because
Yeah.
it makes me unhappy every time I see it.
Yeah.
So I need to
Yeah,
work
and I
on
want
this
to
a
be
little
delicate with myself and like
Yeah.
have a little self-preservation and protect myself and know that I'm a sensitive person and it's okay if I like am honoring what I need in the moment. I do think that, you know, what I have worked on in therapy and what I was talking about earlier is true. I want to know what you think about this, that like it is a measure in some way. This is also from a book called The Artist's Way. If there's any
Awesome.
creators listening, have you
Yeah.
done that? Okay. I can't recommend it enough. It's unbelievable. It's by Julia Cameron. And I did it like 7 years ago and it was the best thing ever. But in it, she talks too about jealousy and what you do with it. And she has an exercise that I remember doing and I've gone back to, which is that all right, so let's say I'm jealous of Andy right now because are you touring right now? Or
Just
you're
got off tour.
Okay, you just got off tour. I actually wasn't. I was celebrating. I was happy for you, but you know,
Sure.
I honestly was.
Thank you.
But let's
I'm
use you
muted.
as an
I get it.
example.
It's fine.
No. And I'm looking at Andy, and it's making me feel something that I don't like in my body. So I'd write it down, like Andy. What am I jealous of? That he's on tour. That it's exciting.
Oh,
That he's
interesting.
interacting
Okay.
with fans. And then I put a slash. I hope I'm remembering this exercise right. And you write, what do I want from that? What about that is something that I want? And then I'd write, well, I don't want all of it. I don't want to do this and this and this. But what I do want, what I do miss is this thing. And then you have like a signpost and a little direction. I think there's something to gain from it, a little.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I don't know.
No. And also, anytime you get it out of your system,
So true.
very helpful. You can kind of see.
Do you journal a lot? The kids are
I know, it's okay.
so cute.
So that's usually Louis.
We have tons of babies here.
Yeah, baby city. I don't journal enough. I'm writing a lot of poetry. That's kind of my version of.
You are.
That's my version. But I don't just sit there and
So
write out what
good,
happened. Do you do
Andy.
it?
No, but your poetry is so
Oh, thank you
good.
so much.
Oh my God. I was at that Boston show. That like shocked me. That
Oh, yeah, the dad one.
wow.
Thank you so much.
Oh my God.
It's a similar thing of sitting with my thoughts in the morning and trying to put them together. And especially some of the poetry that I'm doing now is trying to put it together in a way that is helpful to someone. This
You're awesome.
thing of like, this is what I so badly want to have you on is I don't think there can ever be too many conversations about how to get what's in you out of you. That is so hard to do. And I personally need to hear, like what you're saying, I need to hear people that I respect that I think are better than me say how shit they are at stuff.
Oh my
I need
gosh.
that like gasoline in my car. I need it every day. I need every day
Yeah.
to hear that someone that I think is really great go like, oh, I'm the worst.
I know.
I just didn't stop.
I know.
When I hear that, then I
Yeah.
go, okay,
Yeah.
Monday morning, I can do it again. Let's ride.
What I'm
You know?
feeling is normal, and
Yeah.
I can get past it,
Mhm.
and everyone's feeling it. You're so right.
And
Right.
especially with art, because
Yeah.
it's so hit or miss and all over the place.
I don't know who I haven't met an artist yet that doesn't share this feeling yet.
Yeah.
Have you? I haven't met anyone doing anything unless they're like pretty psycho, where they're just not doubting themselves. I
Yeah.
think everyone is afraid and everyone is doubting themselves all the time, and the way that we mask it is, a choice, and we all have different ways. I happen to be like an open book.
Yeah.
I share
I
it.
love that about you.
I don't know what else to do.
I love it because sometimes you'll call me and you'll just be like, I can't miss right now. And then other times,
I can't. What'd
I
you say?
I can't miss. Like I'm writing such good songs.
Do I really?
You have done it before, and
No.
you were.
That's terrible.
No. It's so sweet. And then other times you'd be like, I'm the worst. I can't.
right.
I can't possibly. Like you're just very sincere and open, in a way that I really appreciate. That wasn't a diss in the least.
No. I didn't feel it was. You know what? Actually, for going back to social media for a second, that is the way that I've learned to love it. I'm like all extremes right now, but I'm realizing that the way that I loved it was when I did this campaign for Aerie, and it was all about no retouching, we had to pose in my underwear with like a lot of like 19-year-olds, and I
Bold move.
went into it. I mean, it was so scared. I was like, talk about fear. I was like, I am 36. I have no business standing next to girls like half my age, and you know, they're not going to retouch these photos. And I went into it with so the wrong mindset. I wish that I could do it over. I wish that I could go into it again, realizing, because what happened was when I saw those photos, I loved that girl. I loved her. I was so proud of her for being vulnerable. And what I wished that I could do was just take away all the ridiculous fear and working out and dieting and just really show who I was. Because the truth is, I was in those pictures, I was skinnier and more in shape than I am in real life because I knew I was going to take those photos. But that wasn't the point of the campaign. The point was to let girls everywhere know that your body is unbelievably beautiful and perfect as it is. Men too. And for me not to like completely be honest about it and be a little hard on myself before, I feel like that was a little bit of a missed opportunity. But what it did teach me was that on social media, I started doing these things where the messages I was writing along with the pictures were extremely honest and extremely vulnerable, and me talking about cellulite and a role and flaws, and like it helped me understand how beautiful it is to open up like that on a platform where a lot of people aren't.
Yeah.
And how refreshing it is. I know when I see, you know, someone that I admire or even just a friend post something raw and vulnerable, I'm instantly like refreshed. And that panic feeling that you get when looking through Instagram
Goes away for a second.
It goes away for a second
Comes
because you're
right
like,
back.
yeah, yeah,
Just like
but
immediately the next one. But it is a respite.
Yeah, it is.
From everybody.
Because it's all fake, but you're like, oh, this is real. And I am hunting constantly for authenticity and realness in people. It's like all that I want. I'm like lately, especially pregnant, kind of allergic to anyone not being their like most raw, real selves. And I just want it. I want it. I want more of it.
Yeah, that was the next one. One of the ones I had here was authenticity.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I don't know. What brings you away from it?
Anytime I'm doubting myself or feeling insecure or like feeling like I'm not enough in some way and I need to change who I am or alter who I am, or like it makes me aware of what I'm saying or what I'm looking like or something like that. And then I change some part about myself and it's not real. But so I don't know. I think when I'm feeling confident or when I'm feeling loved by the universe and God and like knowing that I'm enough, I can go into any situation and be like my most vulnerable.
It's really so nice when you feel it, when you tap into it, especially in these situations where we feel like we have to put on something.
Yeah.
Consistently, you know.
Do you feel like I feel like you found your real voice. Like I don't feel like you're on
for the most part I do.
A lot.
I do on social media get confused sometimes of like, okay, so I guess with what I hate about social media, this is not the point of this whole conversation,
It's
but
fine.
it's real.
I think it is actually.
It just is real. Yeah. Is that I don't like to post something because I feel like I haven't posted something.
Oh my God.
That makes me want to shoot
feeling.
myself in the face.
Oh my God, I know.
Okay, well, I haven't posted anything in 2 days, so I better get up and go find something authentic. That is the antithesis of authenticity.
I did it the other day.
Did you?
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's 2 days past Thanksgiving. I should probably post a picture about being grateful because I have been feeling all these feelings.
Yeah.
And I should find something that's really going to hit people in their heartstrings about gratitude. It's so ridiculous.
I hate myself while I'm doing it.
Ew, I know.
And then if you hate yourself while you're doing it, you put it up and everybody's like, I don't like that either. Why did you do that?
Totally.
Stop doing that.
And especially the anxiety of like when you're writing the thing and you're not writing it. Because I have posts where I've written things truly from my heart. I do it most of the time like that. But when you're like, I really should share something deep today. Don't you hate yourself when you're like writing them and you're like, let me really just,
I think it goes back to the inauthentic right now. There's so much of it. Yeah. And I'm allergic to it. I don't know what it is about being pregnant. Something about it though makes me really hunt even more for just like realness, because I'm so like I feel so vulnerable with like this baby so big, and like I don't know, I'm so sensitive right now.
Babies are for sure grounding.
She's grounding. I'm really aware of my energy lately and her energy and like protecting us both. So I don't really have time for bullshit right now.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm so if I find myself feeling anything other than like totally in the moment, like I try to excuse myself and take a break and do it like even in front of someone. I'll just take a breath for a second and just reground myself and like take out any energy that I don't need and ask for light again to fill me back up so I can be back in my best self.
Tell me about this baby. What are you excited about raising a girl?
Oh my God, I'm so scared. I feel like I was so mean to my mom. I feel a little bit scared that like she's gonna like really, what if she doesn't like me? Or like, what if she thinks my music's not cool? But I don't know. I'm talking to you, so I go immediately to like the worst thing I could think. But I'm so excited to meet her. I get to meet her like in a month, and I can't believe I don't know what she's gonna be like. And I think she's gonna be really fierce. And I am excited to be a woman that like has stood up for other women and really believes in that. And I love women. I love girl power. Like I love being on each other's side.
Yeah.
And I love breaking the idea that we don't have to be jealous of each other. We don't have to compare, ourselves to one another. We can root for each other. So I'm excited to teach her all that and like show her, yeah, your mom has done a pretty good job setting an example in the world. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, yeah,
I hope it's not too big of a statement. I think I've done a pretty good example, like setting this example for people. I don't know. And I'm excited to see if that resonates with her.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see her and my husband together.
Oh, that's great.
And like the sweet relationship they're going to have.
You get to unwrap this gift. You have no idea what it is. That's what's so fun.
I don't know anything.
You slowly, my daughter's 16 months. I hate when people say that. She's a year and a half. And I'm the worst. We'll edit that out. And you get to slowly, over time, go like, oh, you're that. I didn't even know you were that. That's so cool.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's so exciting.
I can't wait to see what she's like. I think that she's going to be really strong. I think she's coming here on a mission. I can kind of feel that. I feel like where I'm at, I'm in such a place that I'm able to bring forward like a strong soul.
Yeah.
Someone who like really knows what they want to do. And she might not be like the softest, like most delicate little flower. I feel like she's going to come here and be one of those little girls that like wears boots and like refuses to take them off and like a tutu and like doesn't give a shit if you have planned a cute outfit.
Yeah.
That she's just like, I don't care, Mom. I don't know.
It's so exciting. I can't wait to meet her either. I'm very, very excited. I do want to take a second to talk about Fight Song because I was right there for it. Like I was right there throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
And again, I like to tell people that you didn't just like, well, you wrote it, and then everybody in our circle was like, holy shit, that's amazing, right? Yeah. And then we kind of all went cold on it. I didn't.
No, I know, but it was like a
Did
year.
you?
No.
Okay. So there was a section there where it was like maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
A little bit of my team, they kind of got scared. And
we always,
yeah,
and I have that a lot with songs as well. You have this like, there's a rhythm to it where the song comes out.
Everyone gets hyped.
Everybody gets psyched, and then everybody kind of goes like, it's been a minute.
We could have been wrong.
Maybe we're wrong. Now we start doubting it, questioning ourselves, and there's always that question of whether do we like it because it's new, or do we like it because it actually is good.
That's hard to know.
And then, and then there was this really cool thing where you like moved something, right? Like wasn't the how the song starts?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'd produced it so many times.
Yeah. How many times?
And like 6 or 7 times.
Oh my God. First of all, holy crap.
Yeah. And I wrote,
Do you think that you would have, this is one of the things that I love about my manager, and he was her manager as well. Would you have alone done it 6 times? Maybe.
Ben was.
I wouldn't do that.
He taught me that process of not giving up on something and being relentless. But I do want to give myself credit that
course.
I was actually the one that kept believing in that song.
Yeah.
And was kind of relentless about it. And even when he was like, Rach, I don't really know, I sent him another version. And then I sent him another version.
Yeah.
And I sent him another version. And he was like, move on. Let's just write other songs and see what happens. I don't know, something was like whispering in the back of my heart. Yeah. Like, don't give up on this one. But the mentality came from him, and that is such a gift. I wish artists could all go to that Ben Singer school.
Ben Singer school of just truly persevering through and
relentlessness. Just don't. When you think you're done, you're not done.
Also, what's funny is I would say that you and me, before meeting someone like Ben, would consider ourselves relentless.
Oh yeah, I thought I was a hard worker. Yeah.
I thought I was that person.
I want to say something and honor you for a second, because I was thinking about this driving over. Like, I don't know that I would be the kind of artist that I am without having met you and seeing you on tour. I opened for you. How we met was I got to open for you, like, when I had really nothing going on. I had like little song on the radio.
That song was great.
It was fine.
1,000
It was
Chips.
cute, sure.
I just heard it
Good.
in Omaha. I was
Okay.
in a mall in Omaha.
Oh, yeah,
and I heard
Omaha
it.
rocks it.
No, it does.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
good.
Yeah, a mall. That's
was.
exactly what would be playing.
No,
it.
it was, yeah.
But I got to open for you on tour, and I remember seeing the way you worked and realizing, I mean, just seeing the infectious joy that you like approached every day and every audience with, and seeing the relationship that you and your manager had. And I was like, whoa, I thought that I was doing this right. That I am not putting in the work that I thought I was at the highest level that I could of working hard. And I saw what you were doing, and you would wake up like, you know, every day at like 6 a.m. and go do radio, and then you'd go do press, and then you do this, and you go to sound check and this. And that was blowing my mind. And you never complained, and you had just a good attitude about it. So it really did teach me what I wanted, you know, and like what I could, if I could go farther.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So when I went into working with our manager that we both had, I was looking for that. I was like, great. I remember I wrote in my journal, I think I'm going to go in and basically work with an Olympic coach right now.
Yeah.
Who's going to school me. And I have no idea how I'm about to be broken down, but I'm ready for it.
But I'm ready for it.
I'm ready for it because I saw what Andy, you know, has done with it. And I want that. And I know I'm a hard worker, and I know I can do it too.
Yeah. It's so cool. Oh, and so that song then did everything.
Yeah, the song.
I remember we had Honey I'm Good was at the same time.
It was really fun.
And it was so fun to have two that were really working.
Yeah.
And I remember we had started to get some research back on Honey I'm Good. I'm like, oh my God, this song is going to be my biggest song I've ever had. I was on the phone with Ben. I'm like, this is it, dude. We got it.
So cool.
And I remember in the same phone call, he goes like, have you heard about Fight Song? And I was like, what? He's like, it's actually going to be even bigger. No. And I was like, holy shit, are you serious right now?
And I remember say that.
No.
I can't imagine.
Not bigger, okay. Just like it was it was like slightly more reactive. And I had this thing that was so working so well.
So crazy.
And I remember zero jealousy, zero.
Oh, no,
you know what I mean?
That was really when we were like, I mean, that developed our like, we always have loved each other.
No,
so
it was
much,
just like, oh my God,
my brother's doing this and I'm doing this.
We have this. We like it's just
we
rare.
Felt like we could root for each other because we were also in the family together.
In the family,
yeah.
Anyway, so sweet. And then what was it like? Talk a little bit about the Hillary stuff. Overall,
man, it's so hard to talk about.
Is it?
Yeah, it's just like it was so confusing at the time because she had asked for a long time before we let the campaign use the song.
Yeah.
And I was afraid. I wish that I had been more ballsy at the time, but I was so afraid of politics and speaking up. Everyone was so divided. There was the Bernie camp, and there was the Hillary camp, and then there was the Trump camp, and there was the whatever camp, Mitt Romney camp. And there was there was so much divisiveness. And my music, and I think yours too, is always about uniting people.
Totally.
I am a uniter. It's what I want to do. And so to hear like, you have this amazing opportunity to have the first woman, possible nominee, use your song. But it's going to divide a lot of people. And it's going to take this song that has united people in a big way. And it's going to change it forever. And it did.
Oof.
And it was...
Did it?
No, for the moment.
For a minute,
it did. I was
It's
afraid.
bigger than that.
But I got these messages. Oh my God. This is before I was a little bit more resilient because it was all so new to me. Like fame and the whole idea of it.
Sure.
And like people commenting on my life was so new to me. And I was getting these messages when I did eventually start letting her use it from people being like, how dare you take my song that helped me and my son go through or heal his cancer? How dare you take the song away from us? And that was not just one. It was like hundreds and hundreds or thousands of things like this. I felt so bad. I was just like, oh, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm trying my best. It's still your song. And but I feel like that's not, people would be so bummed at that answer. They just want to hear me say like, no, I was so proud of it. Cause
No.
The reality is it was a really confusing choice.
A very difficult choice.
It was a confusing choice. And even in the moment when the DNC happened and she stepped out on stage to it, it was really emotional and beautiful, but I then was asked like by every single publication to comment on it and to talk about it. And I remember struggling with this decision. Should I talk or should I remain silent? And I decided to stay silent because I was afraid. That's when fear really got in the way. Because if I had gone back I would have liked to comment and like talk about it.
That's like such an interesting topic of when to speak up and when not to. This whole podcast is because of that. Because I am a spiritual dude and I love these conversations.
Yeah.
But I'm always terrified that if you talk too much about it, then your songs will be tinged with this idea that you're trying to manipulate someone or to try to spread some sort of a something. That there's manipulation behind it.
Really?
I am terrified of that.
What do you mean?
Like the way that you could hear a Christian song and feel like it's not for you.
Oh, because there's a universal thing.
Yeah, or that like it's only for a specific club.
Yeah.
And I just don't write music that way. I don't think of it that way.
No, neither do I.
And so then this is what you're talking about.
And when you define it.
When you define it. But then you have this thing inside you that's like, what, am I afraid to stand up for who I am?
I know.
But I'm not. I just care so much about the ears that I'm reaching.
So do I.
That I want them to come in clean. I don't want it to come in with some sort of a weird situation. But I think there are times. I don't think there's any good answer to this question. I think that you chose. It's also something special. It's a woman president. I mean,
it was amazing. It was a beautiful thing, and then it was a scary thing too because I was getting death threats after the DNC and like people like it was just I was then tied into the emotion and the nastiness of that election.
Of that whole thing, yeah.
But God, Andy, that's so interesting that you're saying that like. When to speak and when not to. Like, I know that I don't know if we've ever talked about this, but I know that, like, I wonder it all the time in terms of when to use my platform to speak up about an issue. And I know that we both know Taylor, and we saw how she kind of changed her mind about actually using her voice in the past election and, and speaking up and commenting. And, like, and I know, does your religion... You're not supposed to, right?
Yeah, in the Baha'i faith, there's no politics because it's inherently divisive. So you're supposed to vote, but you can't align with a political party.
That's a beautiful, helpful thing.
And I care, and I'm up to date, and I do vote. We just voted, but I don't like share it or align with certain parties or go do things that are,
Good for you.
I don't know though. But listen, what I'm saying is you have to choose. You know? We named my daughter Louisiana, and we knew we were going to call her Louie. Partly because we just listened to so much Louis Armstrong and we love Louis Armstrong.
I love Louis Armstrong.
And then I listened to his biography, and it was a really tough thing for him was when to speak up about how bad the race relations were. And he was really delicate about it. And he only spoke a couple times, and when he did, everybody listened. But he caught a lot of heat for not. I don't think there's any easy way to do this.
I don't think there's a right answer.
I think you have to go with what feels right in your gut.
I think you're absolutely right. I think, and if it's something that moves you enough or moves me enough, I talk about it.
Yeah.
If it's something that just on the outside I'm horrified and it's happening and I'm watching it and I wish there was something I could do, but I'm not moved with a message that's unique or singular to me. I don't know. I hesitate to speak out a lot too, and I wish I was a little bit braver.
Yeah.
And seeing Taylor do that, I was like, dang, good for her.
Cool move.
Awesome. And she inspired a lot of other artists I saw. I saw Christina reposted it and Ingrid reposted it, and a lot of other artists felt comfortable to share. Maybe they already did, but were inspired to share because she did. It's just an interesting thing. I think it's we have this ability, we have a platform. It's not massive, but people are listening. And there is a responsibility with it. But at the same time, we're just artists in some people's minds. And it's shut up.
Shut up.
Just show us your music. I don't really care.
I think the hope is that when you're supposed to stand up, you have the courage to stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the hope.
That's good.
And I don't know if I've done that great or bad, or hopefully I'll do it better in the future.
When you're supposed to stand up.
Like when it's your time to speak, you're not afraid to.
Yeah.
I
got to tell you, I got to sing at the Women's March this year. And it was one of the coolest things I've ever done.
Oh,
it was
you smashed
freaking amazing. Were you there?
I was there. It was awesome.
Did you sing?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I sang after you, which was not fun. After
that was my
fight
crowd.
song
Sorry.
women girl crowd, I went up. I was like, I have my mom, and she's like, yeah.
No one cared. No.
Fight song again, please. Yeah.
No. I also got to sing this song that I wrote called Broken Glass, and it was about that. It was about the Women's March. It was about women breaking the glass ceiling. And I had
that song's a smash.
Oh.
So good.
You know those ones, yours was back home. We have ones that we love of each other's that should have been bigger. But to get to sing it to that crowd and it was so powerful. And I felt whoa, this is what it feels like if I was really brave all the time. And used it to and spoke. I don't know. It inspired me to start being a little bit more brave about like speaking out.
So cool. Okay, I want to get to a couple of my favorite questions here. What is the most spiritual experience you've ever had?
The most spiritual experience I've ever had. Right now, I think that it's connecting with my daughter and feeling that, oh my gosh, the Creator is like so present. Like God is so present. I don't know what to call it right now, but that I am like the ultimate creator right now. And when I tap in to meditating with her, I feel immense power and like immense, I don't know, I feel like what God might feel. Like I'm making a life. I'm making life. And when I feel her move and kick, it's so wild. I'm also really bad at remembering things. So like that's the most present beautiful spiritual experience.
It's a pretty incredible thing.
I think feeling her in my body and knowing like how much I love her. I've done this meditation where I picture myself going, I'm such a hippie, but
yeah, go for it.
I picture myself going into the womb and what it feels like in there and being with her and just the like safety of being floating and being loved like that and being cherished like that. And I realized that the love I have for her is the love that the universe has for me. And the way I am going to be just forget, like the way you would forgive Louis for anything. You're going to love her. You love her regardless. You love her just because she's enough, just for breathing. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel about this little girl right now. And I realized that's the way something feels about me. And that's been a really spiritual experience when I've felt sad, is to realize I'm just as loved.
Oh, that's cool. Actually, I haven't thought of it that way. That's really sweet. What is awesome about money? What's terrible about money?
I have a pretty healthy relationship with money lately, where I kind of look at it like this source that if I need it, it's there. I don't have to panic anymore. And I was broke for a really long time, as you know. I was living in the village and in a 5th floor walk up and carrying my piano around the city and eating cereal and I didn't have money and money was something that made me scared all the time. And I had changed my relationship to it by doing something that is going to sound so insane, but I'm going to tell you about it.
I'm excited.
Because you're going to get it.
Okay.
People at home, I keep saying people at home, but
in their cars,
so old fashioned. People listening are going to think
radio.
This is insane, but try it. Please try it. Okay. I started realizing that I was only going to be able to get more of what I knew I had. And that if I felt like I was lacking something, I was only going to get more lack. I mean, it's like law of attraction 101, and like, so I just started to try to trick myself into feeling abundant. And what I would do, this is going to sound so insane, is I would basically leave. I had no money and I would just leave 50s and 20s everywhere. I would just put them. There was one insane point where I took like a $20 bill and I literally threw it out the window. I know this sounds insane. And I would tip people ridiculous amounts I didn't have. I would take anyone homeless on the street out to like buy expensive dinners and food and lunch. And I did it all over New York City. And I gave away as much as I could, like more than I could afford to give away. And because I had read this book about, I think it was like Napoleon Hill's How to Think and Grow Rich. And I read all those, I don't know, I read this other book about the law of attraction and it just was teaching me I had to flip how I was looking at it. So since that point, and Fight Song happened very quickly after. I'm not saying it was because of that, but stuff started changing. It was more than that I was doing. I was also meditating regularly and there was some action that I had taken that changed. But that was something that I think really healed my relationship with money, to realize that I was abundant. Like even giving away what I didn't have, I still was okay. I still had a roof over my head. Yeah. I still had food. And so my relationship with money now is really healthy, where I never feel like there's a lack, even if there might be, and I will never, ever think that again. I will always remember that if I feel abundant and I feel like there's enough, there's always enough.
I like it.
That's good.
No, it really is.
Is that your question?
Yeah. Well, yeah, my question was what's great about it and what's terrible about it.
Okay.
But pretty much the relationship is a good way to answer it.
Yeah. I think, and it's also great to be able to, I mean, obviously, to shower your loved ones with presents and like gifts. I love giving gifts. I love taking care of people.
You gave like Louie the best blanket ever. And she loves it.
Oh, I love her.
It's really good.
I just love giving, and I'm a little bit bad at receiving, but I love to be able to give, and the money makes that possible.
This is a fun question because it's going to make you squirm.
Okay.
What are you really good at?
Of course, Andy. We would ask them. Yeah. Okay. I'm really good at being compassionate. I think I'm incredibly empathetic, and I really listen and care about people.
It's good. It's a good thing to be good at.
I'm also really good at songwriting.
You are. Honestly, you are very, very, very good.
I'm good at songwriting.
You are. Where do we go when we die? What happens?
I believe that we go back to source, that we leave our bodies, and that we breathe this beautiful sigh of relief. Like, oh, it was just a game. It was just
It's over.
It's just a play. I was an actor. That was a role I put on. This is who I really am. And I believe we return to love, return to our source. And there's gigantic peace and, and...
Can we fly?
100%.
Definitely.
I think we're flying I think our souls are like, I don't think time exists. I don't think our physical bodies exist. I think we're like, we think it, you there. I think the vibration is so high, and and I think you choose life again.
Oh, you can come back here?
Oh, yeah.
You're in the reincarnation zone?
I think you're like, cool, I tried to learn this lesson, and it didn't quite work, and you review your life. Wow. And then I think you get to say, I'm going to pick this parents this time.
Oh, that's
cool. I'm going to pick this circumstance. I'm going to go do it again.
Wow. I don't know if I want to do it again, but maybe I would. Yeah. Maybe it would be cool.
What do you think?
I think it's like a never-ending growth situation. And you just keep growing in all the worlds of wherever. I don't know exactly what it looks like, but I think we're learning here tools to use them somewhere else. So the cycling back around, I don't know if that makes sense to me, but it might. Nobody knows. That's why it's so crazy.
Yeah.
The fact that any of this is possible is what makes life so great.
I know, though, I feel I have such a connection to my grandmother who passed away. I know you have a connection to your mother, and I know that it's not it.
No.
I don't know anything for certain except that it's just not it. It can't be it because I can feel my grandmother and hear her and communicate with her, and I know she's still here.
What is the biggest myth about yourself that you've been able to overcome, that you now have like demystified?
What does that mean?
Like something you believed that was true about you, that you've been able to work through, and now you don't think is true.
There's so many. Oh man. I think one is that like I thought that I was like kind of a diva. Like I thought like that I was like, I think like during the whole ride and the whole up cycle of like the excitement of hits and whatever, I thought maybe like I was high maintenance, and I was like, I'd been told it, or I saw that I started to like, that started to become true. And then I realized that I could break it, and that I wasn't who I was. That I actually who I am is someone very loving and like kind and compassionate, and that it's only ever coming from fear of like not being taken care of, or fear of being exposed, or fear of not being nurtured enough. And if I can remember that I'm always safe and that I'm always enough, I don't have to use that behavior.
Cool.
So I think I've healed that in a big way.
Oh, that's lovely. That's a cool one. What's one thing you love, one thing you hate? Can be anything. Can be massive or petty.
Okay.
Or, anything.
What? Shoot, I never got to the end of your podcast, so I listened. I should have cheated.
Yeah.
Because when I went on Lewis's podcast, I like got all the way to the end, so I knew to prepare.
Yeah.
Dang.
Oh no, these are good. These are
good.
Right, fine. It's kind of fun that it's right out the top.
One thing I love is people being real right now, and like just honesty. I love like raw honesty. And one thing I hate is I really don't like any food that like isn't really delicious, because like it makes me want to throw up. Like any food that isn't even like home cooked or like really nurturing just makes me want to gag. Oh, I also really love pizza right now.
Oof. Okay. So good. Where are you eating in LA? Where are you getting pizza?
Man, I made a cauliflower pizza the other day. I've been learning to cook.
Wow.
I'm a pretty good cook.
Okay.
Just throwing it out there. I don't know if I'm gonna cook the rest of my life because I really hate it. But like I cooked for Thanksgiving and
it was good.
I mean, it was really good.
It was really good.
But
That's
it was
impressive.
exhausting and the food was pretty good.
Yeah.
If I want to do it, that's there. If I want to flex that muscle.
You could if you
Yeah.
want to.
Yeah.
We had been ending with this question. Oh no, the other one I have before I ask the last one is, so I've known you throughout your whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Could you say that when I met you before Fight Song, then you have Fight Song, now you're here, now you have a baby. Was there a rise and dip of happiness?
Oh God, that is such a good question, Andy. Yes.
There was.
And I don't know if people, I think it might be inversely related to actually the success. Like, I don't know that I was super happy during the like top of the roller coaster.
Interesting.
I'm actually way happier now. And I have so much more peace right now. And I like feel just way more comfortable in my skin. And like, I don't know, I feel like I have this joy that is more peaceful right now. And maybe back then it was, you could call it happy, but it was way more based on whether things were going well or not. My like, you know, steady level of joy right now is really not contingent on the ups and downs of life. And so yes, my happiness has swung wildly. Usually based on if people thought that I was successful or not, or if I was getting good gigs, or if I was, you know, famous or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just have learned so much that that's not real.
Yeah.
You taught me that a lot. I remember, oh my gosh, I was playing a house concert in Connecticut. I don't know if you probably don't.
I do.
Okay, you do?
Yes.
Cool. So I was playing a house concert in Connecticut.
I came.
Connecticut.
It was
You came.
awesome.
It was so sweet. Andy showed up. It was so embarrassing. So it was
Wasn't
like 20
embarrassing.
people.
No, those are lovely.
I know, and you didn't make me feel embarrassed at all. I
No,
was
it's
like, oh my
great.
God, my famous friend Andy is coming. Oh my God. And it was 20 people in this living room, and it was what I was doing. And but what had happened was I was on your tour and then had the thing on the radio, and then it all kind of went away. So I was back playing house concerts, and you came, and then we spent a night at a friend's house with a bunch of friends, and we had this really deep talk. And I was looking at you at the time as like, whoa, Andy is crazy successful. Like, he must be just so happy all the time. Everything must be going great. And you betrayed that you were like exhausted and tired and sad that the song that was on the radio wasn't totally working at the time.
Yeah.
And I remember Craig and I, my drummer at the time, were just looking at each other like, Andy's unhappy? What? Like, we have a right to be unhappy. We're in a van and we're broke and but we were joyful getting to do that still. Yeah. But yeah, you sharing that was like, it was so comforting.
It's funny. I just like consistently, because I think a lot of people who are creators or artists listen to this. I want everyone to know that most of the time it's not working.
It's never working. I loved what you said there. You should tell this about getting kicked in the face, about having a dream.
What is this?
Okay, Andy doesn't remember his like really good advice. I'm gonna have to share it with you guys. He's so bad at this, but he told me, because we were talking about my husband and the stream he's following. He said, remind him that having a dream is like getting kicked in the face every single day. Yeah. Some days you don't, and you're like, dang.
Like very rarely you you wake up and no kick comes.
Yeah.
And you're like,
whoa, I think I'm safe.
Yeah.
And then one more day, no kick.
No kick. You'll have like a period where maybe 2 weeks go by, you don't get kicked in the face.
I'm not gonna get kicked in the face anymore.
Like, well, and then
I think I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done with the face kicking.
I'm done.
It's over.
Getting hurt.
I think I'm done with the face kicking. This is gonna be a great life from here on out.
Yep.
And then very shortly, another
humongous wound up,
huge
kick in the face,
roundhouse kick to the face,
knocks you right down.
And you hopefully get to a place where you just love doing what you do.
That is something that is really important.
If you love it, then you're like, okay,
the kick's gonna come.
And this is what we do.
Yeah, you're so.
And you do it. You deal with all the kicks because hopefully what you're doing is providing a service. This leads me to my last question. Hopefully you're providing a service that there is a purpose for you being here, that is giving other people something that they don't even have to. They don't need to know that you've been kicked in the face 20 times before you get on stage that night.
Yeah.
They just know like you have something I want and you've brought it and I really need it.
Yeah.
So thank you. So when they scream at the end of the night, what you hear sometimes is like, oh, all the kicks in the face were worth it today.
Yeah.
Because I was able to get to you people. You know what I mean? So what I want to leave with is, I had been asking, why are we here? Which is kind of like a vague thing, which doesn't get very, very
I
good
hate
answer.
that question, yeah.
The question that I have is unique. Let's make it, Asia told me this actually, so I give full credit to Asia.
Asia's awesome.
Asia's
Let's give
the
a
best.
minute of props
Moment
to
of silence
your
for Asia.
incredible
Exactly.
wife. Yeah.
Everybody go listen to her song. Oh my god,
my
it's
God.
so good. It's a song called For You. Check it out.
I can't really listen to it because the pregnancy makes me cry.
It makes you
The
cry.
whole- oh my God.
Anyways, go listen to it.
So
Check it on
amazing.
YouTube. She wrote this incredible song. Anyway, what I want to leave with is, what is your purpose? What, like, when you are doing your best work, what is your purpose?
I think my purpose is to make people feel like they're okay being them, just as they are. And that however they're feeling is all right. And that we're all like, we're so much more similar than we think. And like what I like to do in a show when I feel like it's successful or with a song is like strip back the facade that like, you know, we're different or that I'm better than you or that you're, you know, and just remind us that like this human experience of being freaked out all the time and being insecure and having anxiety is so common and that it's okay. I think that's my purpose, is just to make people feel okay about being themselves through music and connecting people in a way that maybe to a depth they wouldn't be able to otherwise.
It's a good purpose. You're doing great.
I should work on that sentence. I feel like I could come up with a really killer sentence of my purpose.
No, if I was looking at you, I would say pretty much what you said.
Would you do it? Try another one.
Okay.
For me.
You want me to try what your purpose is?
Yeah. By the way, all I've ever wanted from like, and it's like a joke because I'm like the little sister.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about me. So this is like my dream. Like, yeah,
Okay,
what do you think about me?
I'll take us out trying to sum up what your purpose is.
Okay.
I would say that Rachel's purpose is to, some of these words get overused, so they lose some of their luster. But you're here to inspire. You are here to you're here to remind people of themselves.
Yeah.
How's
That's
that?
good.
Is that good?
To remind people of themselves. I
Yeah.
think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And to inspire. Yeah, you're right.
Solid.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on here,
I
sis.
love you.
I love you so much.
proud of you. This is awesome.
I feel like a lot of people are gonna like this conversation. So
Or they're going to be like, what were they talking about?
yeah, maybe our conversations are just for us.
We think they're so good.
Yeah. Oh my God, they're amazing. We've just that's possible too.
We're so proud of
Yep.
ourselves.
Anyway, I love you.
I love you.
Good stuff.
Tell me your story, but don't leave the good parts out.